Welcome to Inside City Hall. I'm your host, Mayor Daryl Seymore, and today our guest is Lisa Lewis, the Show Low Public Library Manager. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, thank you.
Glad to have you on our show today.
Thank you.
So you've been working at the library. Kind of share a little bit how long you've been here, and let's talk a little bit about your background and what got you into books. Okay.
I've been in for the city of Show Low since February, and I was put in as the library manager in August. Really enjoy it here. Really enjoy it a lot. I got into libraries when I was in high school, and I was a volunteer at the library at the high school in Joseph City. That's where I was at. And my mom really loved to read, and I think it passed on to me, and I really loved to read. And so that's how I got into books. Went from there, obviously, to higher education. I have an associate's at Cochise College University in Cochise College. And then I got my first library job at St. David Unified School District. I was the assistant library there.
Okay.
Yep. And then moved on to Wichita City, and I was there for over 7 years as the director there. And then after that, went to Safford, Graham County Library. Was there for about 10 months. And then my husband got his dream job up here in northern Arizona, and so we moved up here, and that's why I'm here.
What did your husband do?
He's a school teacher.
All right.
Teaches at Round Valley.
Okay, great. So do you live in Show Low, Round Valley, or?
We live in Eager.
Eager,
actually.
okay, so you're halfway home. Huh?
I'm halfway home.
That's good, that's good.
Yep.
Now you grew up in the mining communities down Globe in Miami, right?
Yep, that's where I was born. That's where I still have family that live there. So I was there probably until I was almost 10, and then we moved up to Show Low, actually.
Great.
And lived in Show Low right behind Bill's Bar.
Okay, and I do know where that's at,
Yep.
being a native here. Not many people know that nowadays,
Yeah.
so that's great, that's great. Well, share with us a little bit about some of the new programs, how you feel maybe this library compares. I don't, we shouldn't really compare, but just share with us about what's neat about the Show Low Library and new programs that we have coming up.
It's the community, really. The community is very supportive of this library. When I first started in February, we had very large numbers of customers that were coming in. And then I was assured that during the winter months, we would be slow, but we're not. We're still averaging about 600 people a day that are coming into the library. And they are wanting more and more programs and more activities to be involved in, because libraries are more than just checking out books these days. This library, I've showed it off several times to family and friends that have come up to visit, and they're very impressed with the library and how beautiful it is and how friendly our staff is. And so I think this library has a lot of potential to grow. I think there's a lot of things out there that we could be doing, more outreach, going outside of the walls of the library and reaching to those people that are not able to come in, doing a lot more service to the community, a lot more being involved in some of the health fairs and whatnot that they do in this community, and obviously more outreach to the schools and become a little bit more of a partner with them.
Yeah, okay. So what are some programs that maybe have changed or you want to see, directly that you have on the forefront right now working on? I mean, I know we just recently went through the Christmas season, and I know you're very successful with some of the things that you happened there, but share with us some of those things.
We did a Polar Express night at the library. That was something that I started in Wichita City. It was very, very well received there. And we didn't really have any kind of a Christmas program going on here, and I thought it would probably be very well received here as well. And it was. We had about 173 people that came, and we're planning on making it an annual event. We had our police chief read for us. In Wichita City, it was Cochise County Sheriff Larry Deaver that would read for us. And so I wanted to kind of keep that same thing in Show Low, and it went really well. We were really happy. The high school orchestra came and played. And the culinary class was what provided us our Christmas cookies, so it was really good.
And how long was that program, or how, was it every day? Was it just a period of time?
It was just one day on that evening
that
we did the Polar Express night, but we played Christmas music during that whole month of December. Of course, we decorated, and we tried to make it even more welcoming and friendly and a little more relaxed than it probably normally would be. And we had all kinds of comments about the appreciation that they had of listening to Christmas music while they were looking for books or on the computers, and so that went really well.
So music in a library, that's good.
Music in a library. Can't even imagine, huh? Libraries are not the same. They're not the same. You have to be quiet when you come in. We're not a real quiet library.
There.
And I encourage that we visit with our customers and get to know them and try to be their friend, as well as trying to help them with what they need to find.
What are some other benefits that it offers as far as computer resources and things like that? If there was somebody in the community who didn't have a computer but needed to post a job online or something, what's available
Well,
there?
we have several computers that are open to the public that they can come in and use anytime they wish. From our hours, we're open from 9 to 6 most days. The computers will always shut down about a half hour before we close, but up until that time, they can come and use those computers anytime they like. We also have a computer lab, and we are getting ready to start classes again starting in March, and we'll offer basic computer classes, internet, setting up an email, Windows 10, because that's the newest one out there. We're also going to be offering a Facebook class and a Pinterest class, and doing photo albums as well online. So we have some exciting things coming up in our computer lab. So
That
we're
is
happy
neat.
about that.
So how do you get that information out to the public about those labs or about those times that are happening? How would somebody inquire about that?
We do
know that
press
information?
releases, and so
Okay.
it gets out on the radio. We also have it in the newspaper, and we have a Facebook page that's updated all the time, every day, and people can check on that. Now, if they don't have a computer and they can't get onto Facebook and they come into the library, we have, brochures and pamphlets
Right.
that tells about our classes that we're offering. And we also put, flyers out so that they know. So word of mouth is also a really good way to get that information out.
So when you have 600 visitors per day that's coming in, I mean, on average, are they checking out 1, 2, 5 books, or are they just coming and coming back? Or I know you've got your regular customers, but what drives 600 people a day to come here?
Well, it's our staff. We have a lot of books that we offer, a lot of different new releases that we offer. We have our new children's center that we just redesigned that the kids are just gravitating towards that, especially the cuddle chair. If you go in there and any time of the day, generally you're going to find some kids and their parents in the cuddle chair reading books. We have quite a bit of programming that we're doing now that we weren't doing before. Lego Club that we offer. That's 3 times a month. We have a creative club which does STEM programming that brings in some of the older kids. We're getting ready to start a code club for middle school age kids that will bring those in. And when they check out books, it's generally 2, 3, 4 or more that they're checking out at a time.
So how much is a library card, and how many books are you able to check out?
Library card is free.
Okay.
That doesn't cost you anything. You just have to show us a valid picture ID so that we can get you signed up. The limits on the books, we really only have limits on our new books, and you're only allowed to take 4 of those out at a time just so that other people have an opportunity. Most all the other books are unlimited. Total amount is 25 items per card. So if there's a family that comes in and they've got 4 or 5 people in their family, that's 25 per card. So
Right, that's neat. How many people outside of Shoalo, non-citizens that we have who have like a library card? Do you know those numbers at all?
I don't know the exact numbers, but we have a lot of summer visitors that come up, and very many of them have library cards, and they're excited that they can get a library card here. There are other libraries that will not allow out-of-county residents to have one, and we do because we have a big population of summer visitors. And so the last time I checked our numbers, we had over 13,000 library card holders.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So would you put a certain age group that's more readily coming through the library if we were to curtail those without giving away, seniors, say 50 and older, and then let's go 30 and then under 20?
Okay. I would say under 20 is our biggest population.
Yeah.
That's going to be our teens and our youth, our children. Adults are probably the next biggest group. Our seniors are probably not as big. Mostly during the winter, I've seen that number drop down. I don't think they like to go out and drive too much when it's cold outside. And that's why we want to do some of those outreach programs to go to them rather than having them come to us.
That's neat to hear that the youth are the largest, coming, because that says good things about what they're trying to learn and educate.
It is. They're our future leaders.
Recently, we added a feature over there that is being run right now, where you can get a snack and maybe you can get a cup of coffee or a cold drink. Share a little bit about how that's working receptive to the library and to people coming through.
That is our cafe. It is called the Forever Young Cafe, and it is operated by Meals on Wheels. So all the proceeds for that goes directly to Meals on Wheels. There's everything that they do there is homemade. Their soups are wonderful. Their sandwiches are great. And it's a really good opportunity for people to come and get something to eat, maybe, like you said, a cup of coffee, have a seat in our lounge area by the fireplace and relax and read and enjoy just the atmosphere of the library. And it's going over pretty good. People are pretty receptive to it.
That's great. Have you ever found a time that the library feels crowded, that we get too many people, in the library at times?
That would probably be Friday about 5 o'clock when we close at 6 and people are coming in to get their DVDs for the weekend,
Okay.
or last minute items that they need to print out on the computer. So I would say Fridays at about 5 o'clock it gets pretty busy, and Mondays for sure. Monday is our by far busiest day of the whole week.
Maybe we need to have a 3 o'clock happy hour on Friday.
I
or
think that would be a
something,
good idea.
Get them there a little bit earlier so you guys can go home and things that way. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the library and how you see it going forward? I mean, it's one of those things that years ago when we first, as council, it was like, do we really want to spend that much money on a library, because isn't everything going on the computer, on the internet? Do people really, will they check out books or everything? And so having you share those numbers that are there is just fantastic. It kind of dispels that myth
It does.
that libraries, and same as the Barnes and Nobles and all those places, are going away with. But why is that?
I think in rural communities especially, libraries are very, very important. And when they do a Pew research, I don't know if you've heard of Pew before or not, but they do research all the time on libraries and how essential they are. And the numbers are overwhelmingly from rural and small communities that the library is the most important part of that community. And that's how they choose where they're going to live, if there's a library in that community. I think that urban areas are going more and more towards e-books and that type of thing, but I don't think that rural libraries are going to be quite that way. They still like to have that book in their hand. They still like to be able to come and ask a librarian for information and for help. And we provide all kinds of vital services for them. And so I see this community as the library in this community being just the central focal point, and being a community center, a place where they can bring families, and all kinds of different needs are met in this library. And that's our goal, is just to provide the most excellent customer service that we can.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if you had a wish list, we'll limit it to 2.
Okay.
Okay, it can't be a long list.
Okay.
What would be your wishes that you could change or you could get for our library?
The number 1 on my list would be to expand.
Okay.
We saw with the Polar Express night that we have no room for a big event like that. And if we're going to do a library event, we want it to be in the library. And so to have an expansion of the library would be excellent, just to create more space so that we can have bigger programming like that. The second one on my list would probably be to have more full-time staff to accommodate these programs that we're starting to implement, and just the need that's arising. We have over 600 visitors on average during the winter months. We have close to 1,000 on an average during the summer months, and it's very overwhelming at times. And so those are probably my 2 biggest wishes.
That's fantastic. And that's a day. That's
That's
not
a day.
just, there. So when we start compounding that a month that we have going through there, the numbers are fantastic.
They are, on average, this fiscal year has been about 1,200 to 1,400 more visits per month than last year. So it's growing.
And the conditions of our books and things there, I know you recently got rid of some of the older books, and how is our selection, do you find?
The selection that when I weeded the books, it was any book that had not gone out over 5 years. So they've sat on the shelf for 5 years and they're taking space. And so those books have to be weeded out so that we can make room for all the new ones that are coming in. The books that we did take off the shelves, we donated to the Friends of the Library. So it still benefits the library in the long run, because then they'll sell those books, and they're a great support to us.
That's great. Well, Lisa, anything else you'd like to share today?
Just invite everybody to come to the library and see what we're doing there.
Come down and read, open up a book, get to meet Lisa Lewis. We appreciate what you do, Lisa. We appreciate your staff, and we are proud to have a fantastic library, but the director and manager is always at the head, and we appreciate what you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay tuned for their next segment of Inside City Hall, where we'll be talking about Show Low Main Street. Welcome back to Inside City Hall. Now we have Steve North, the Business Development Coordinator for the City of Show Low. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Glad you're here today. We can talk a little bit about everything that happens on Main Street. You know, you're doing a great job. I know you've had a lot of things that have happened over the years. Little by little, as the town evolves, we're seeing better accessibility to things in Main Street. Sometimes not as great as would still like perfect, but we are growing. And your farmers market, some of the things you have going on, activities. Why don't you just share with us some of the highlights of maybe last year and some of the things you got going on this year that's going to be happening downtown?
Sure. Well, of course, people who don't know, Show Low Main Street is a private non-profit organization, and essentially we're charged with revitalizing downtown Show Low. So that can mean anything from encouraging investment, beautifying downtown Show Low, bringing events to downtown, bringing people to downtown Show Low, a variety of different things.
Right.
And so we, of course, have a variety of different things going. We have a variety of activities designed to bring people downtown. Of course, our Show Low Main Street Farmers Market and Art Walk is our big event for the year. We hold that every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. From late May all the way through September, right inside Festival Marketplace, and we close down Cooley Street as well between 9th and 11th, and we have 50 or 60 vendors average every week, and they're selling a variety of different local products and produce and all kinds of things.
Have you found that the vendors are repeat vendors, that it's successful for them and they keep coming back?
We do have, the majority of our vendors are repeat. We have had some that, some have actually graduated, if you will, and established brick and mortars in the community, which is pretty exciting.
Awesome.
That was obviously that was one of our goals with doing this, aside from the fundraising aspect of it for Main Street. But we have had that. We do have the majority of our vendors are repeats. We do get new ones every year, and some have just been so successful at our market. They've just gotten so busy they don't have time to come anymore. So
Right, that way.
that's pretty exciting too.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And then of course, aside from that, we do Spooktacular Festival every year. That's our signature Halloween event we do on the last Saturday of October every year, and it's growing bigger and bigger every year. We have a variety of different downtown, or not even downtown merchants, just businesses from all over the area that participate. They'll set up a booth or a trunk out there and decorate it up in Halloween, and either provide a game for the kids that come through, or candy, pass out candy,
Right.
and they promote themselves in the process. So we have a lot of that going on. We have entertainment on the stage all day long, costume contests, musical entertainment, all kinds of things going on. Haunted house down there all day long. It's just a fun event for the kids to come out, for the whole family to come out.
Now, as far as some of the proceeds that you have got for Main Street or Main Street improvements, what are some of the things that you have done with some of those funds or projects that you have money set aside to work towards?
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. Of course, our main fundraising activity for Show Low Main Street is the farmers market. That does generate about $10,000 a year for Show Low Main Street. And one of the things that we are in the process of doing now is we're investing about $6,000 in replacing their 6 existing Wayfinder signs in the downtown area, and adding 4 additional ones. And of course, a Wayfinder sign, they're going to match the pedestrian lighting downtown. So we'll have that, and then we're going to pay to get the merchants all listed on there that want to be listed on those signs. So it's another opportunity for the merchants, particularly on the interior streets, to have access to visibility on the Deuce of Clubs and White Mountain Road, so that people can find them easier.
No, that's fantastic. And we're working, I know not necessarily the Main Street, but the city is. When we think about our statue, we're going to be replacing that, and it's hopefully going to be a replica, but it will be better than we had before, and it'll be in bronze, and so it'll be a little more fire resistive. Okay?
Boy, there were a lot of heartbroken people when
On that side of it.
when the statue had the meltdown. But yeah, we're happy to happy to know that statue is going to be replaced. That's really an attraction that brings people down, and it's incredible the number of people that come to the farmers market every Saturday that will just go to the statue to get their photo
Right.
taken with it. It's incredible.
What are some of the other things that Main Street's been involved with or that you've helped? I mean, when we go over there and walk through that little area where the farmer's market is, we see names on bricks where people have donated. We walk down our DUSA clubs, we see benches that have people's names, and all that's part of Main Street working towards that, hasn't it been?
Yeah, that's correct. We did coordinate that project for the benches when the streetscape project was completed in 2010. Of course, the trees and the mailboxes, or in the mailboxes, the trash cans were added a little bit later. But one of the things we thought we could do is add some benches down there, and then we recruited businesses to actually pay for those. And of course, it's an advertising opportunity for them. They have their logos engraved in the bench. They're all sandstone benches, and they're all engraved in there. Of course, Show Main Street logo in there as well, and I think there are 35 benches down there on the DUSA clubs now, and we're looking to add some additional ones as the streetscape projects goes on the interior streets, and all those interior streets are done. We're going to look at adding benches there as well.
Right. I think it's neat as we get more of that interior Main Street done and working on Huning and some of the other places that eventually over the years it's going to be a more of a walkable area for people to come, and hopefully that will also attract more of the businesses. I know one business in particular this year that opened up down on the Deuce was the donut shop. Came back where we used to have one years ago, but now we've got a donut shop, and that's been part of, because people can locate, park, and walk to that.
Yeah, and of course the House Yard Bar and Eatery, they're there, and Matt McGowan's doing a lot of good things there, and of course he opened up the Red Bar Creamery next door.
Right.
So we're starting to see businesses open downtown. So that's good to see. That's part of a big hope of ours with all these activities that we do, is that we're encouraging people to come down here and invest.
So do you have any ideas for any wow thing that's coming up this next year that you haven't done before that you want to try new or anything like that?
We're throwing around a lot of ideas to particularly to beautify the area. We're looking at some other signage projects downtown, maybe adding some statues downtown, some other things like that. Of course, we're always looking to add events to downtown to bring people down here. One event we're looking at doing now, and we're still working on details, but it's going to be a new music, food type family event for Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
We're looking to add that this year, so details will be coming very soon. We're still ironing them out, but they'll be out soon.
That sounds fun. You'll be doing a solo or something like that possibly, huh?
No, we're probably it's probably going to be a situation where we'll bring some bands up to maybe a contest of sorts. We're still working on some details.
One of the things too would be neat is if, on the 4th of July, I've always looked at that morning of having a specified, flag raising, or maybe a, they do the anvil blast. We can't do that in Taylor, but if we, maybe just somehow to say this is the beginning of our festivities for the 4th of July, would always be neat too.
That's a good point. Some way to brand Sholo in some way.
We have the biscuits and gravy there. If we just knew, if nothing else but a flag raising ceremony would be a neat way to start our 4th of July. It might get a few more people out, but that flag flies there proud and happy for the city of Sholo there.
Hey, maybe we can create the largest DUSA Clubs card in the world.
Something like that.
It's amazing what people will go. I've seen the largest rocking chair in the world, and it's somewhere back east. I don't recall the town, but they get hundreds of thousands of people every year just to see the largest rocking chair in the world.
That's neat. Well, that's what's fun. People love to get their picture taken and say, "Hey, I'm here." So nothing more than saying I'm on Main Street of Sholo.
That's right. Yeah,
that's exciting. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Steve?
We're always looking for volunteers to help us out, and help us with all the activities we have going on. We have a 10-member board, so it's difficult to get all these things done with the help of 10 people. But we're sure doing everything we can, and we can always use help. And we're be looking for additional things to happen downtown from Show 'em Main Street.
That's great. We'll appreciate it. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on Inside City Hall today. We hope you have a fantastic day, and